Howdy everyone, petedaddy here. We are getting closer and closer to the start of FIFA 21. It's approximately 2 weeks now, and I know a lot of us are just counting down the days, waiting for it to come. We're done with FIFA 20, get it out of here. But I'm here to tell you there's several things you could be doing right now in FIFA 20 so that you will be better at the start of FIFA 21. So this is the top 5 things you should be doing right now in FIFA 20 to be more prepared and better at the start of FIFA 21. Before we get going though, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below and check the description to join our Discord server to join in on all the FIFA fun. But let's just get going. Number one, my number one tip. Right now, you should be compiling yourself a gold team in FIFA 20. And I brought this one up here. This was my starter team, my starter competitive team in FIFA 20. And you can see I've got players like Alex Teixeira and Hamsik and Carrasco. So I did a lot of Chinese Super League players. And you don't even have to go this week with the team, but definitely get you some goal players if you want to do like Marcus Rashford or Lucas Moura or Sissoko. You know, some of those other gold OP cards from the beginning of last year to make it a little easier, that's fine. But I've been doing this. I did a weekend league with some Scottish players. I've used bronze players. But what you're going to do, you've got to remember, we're not going to be able to go into matches. Like, let me just show you my main team right here. So, like, this is my competitive team right now, or my main team. And, you know, we're not going to be going into matches with 99 De Bruyne, 94 moments Eusebio, someone that can dribble like this Dembele and Ribery. So you've got to remember, we're going to be going back down to the beginning, and sometimes that's a shock to the system. You know, you're not going to have players that have that pace, that can dribble, that can pass, that can do everything. So I really recommend making you a gold team, going into some competitive matches. Even if you lose, that's fine, but you're just getting used to the controls, the movements, how goal players receive the ball, that they're not going to be able to do as much. And it's also the other thing, I really stress this, if you are looking to improve at FIFA, then I recommend doing this and focus on two things: passing and defending. Because FIFA to FIFA, you know, the way you score may be different. You know, the way you scored at FIFA 18 was a low-driven shot. The way you scored at the beginning of FIFA 19 was a timed finesse shot. The way you score in FIFA 20 is near post. The way you score in FIFA 21 is going to be a little bit different. So everything is going to change as far as how you score, but defending is pretty much the same FIFA to FIFA. I mean, there's going to be little things, but, you know, if you can defend a team of the season Neymar with a gold Juan Jesus, then you're going to be set on your defending. So those fundamentals of FIFA, that's going to help you improve on those rather than just outrunning someone with Ribery or having a cracked St. Maximin that just somehow you can't take the ball off of him. So it'll help you with those fundamentals of the game. So focus on passing, try to pass around players. You know, that's something that skill will take you to the next level. And I try to stress this to people. I've played against some of my subscribers at times and watched some of these people in lower divisions, and you just see so many like skill move, skill move, skill move. You know, when you get to the higher levels of FIFA, you know, there are skill moves, but it's not like so many. So, you know, when you can learn how to pass, it's just those fundamentals of the game. People are so good at everything. So if you can be good at defending, if you can be good at passing, you're going to be good at the other things of the game. You know, those other things are going to be different year to year. So I really recommend that. And that's, to me, I've said this before too, the biggest difference between a Division 4 player and a Division 1 player is defending. So, and that's one of the hardest things to master, so just focus on that. So that's my number one tip that you should be doing right now at FIFA 20. The number two thing you should be doing right now in FIFA is getting used to playing with a better camera angle. I see so many people playing with just the default camera settings, and it makes the game so much harder on you because you can't see all the runs, you can't see enough of the pitch. The one I'm using right now is called Telebroadcast. I've used this one for years. I did go away and went to co-op for most of FIFA 20, but I'm going back to Telebroadcast. But I feel like you should probably pick between those two. But, you know, I'll just show you here. What you do, you go into settings, game settings. So Telebroadcast is the one I like, with also on default camera settings. But I've also played a lot this year with co-op, and you do see a lot of the pitch, but see how much more zoomed out you are. And I feel like maybe that hurt me a little bit with defending, with dribbling, being able to see as much up close. But the one that a lot of people play with is just the default camera, and I think that makes it so much harder to play with. So definitely try. I know some people will even use classic, and maybe that one's okay. I just feel like telebroadcast overall gives you the most. No one's going to play with end to end or pro only in certain circumstances, but the default camera, it may not look as weird here because it's just more in certain angles, but the default camera just doesn't give you the right level of play, the right scope of play to help you be and to take advantage of all the things you need to do to grow and to be able to beat people competitively. So I definitely recommend telebroadcast, or at the worst co-op, just to be able to see the pitch, be able to see the runs, be able to see what your opponent is doing. The number 3 thing you should be doing right now in FIFA 20 is getting used to playing with the radar. This is a very underutilized tool, but it's something that if you get good at it, can help you take your game to the next level. Like right now I'm looking at it, I can see where all my players on the pitch are, and what I would recommend is pass around some with just the radar. Like I'm just looking at nothing but the radar, trying to make my passes. I'm trying to see what the runners are going to be. Now, when you use it for real, you're just going to kind of glance down on it, and that's where you're going to get good, where it's going to take you to the next level. But just get really used to it. Get used to the movements on it. And one of the areas where the radar helps you the most is when you are counterattacking. You can spot your fullback, you can spot your wingers. So I knew that Dembele was onside before I even made that pass. I could see my fullback. I can see who is making a run. I saw Kevin De Bruyne coming up to support me. So it just opens up so much more of the pitch for you. And you want to get used to it. That's why I'm saying maybe study it and maybe just try to make some passes on it. Go into a match with beginner difficulty. Like I'm not even looking at my players. I'm just looking at the ball moving. But what you want to get good at is where you can just glance at it and see where your players are. Like right now, I cannot see my fullback Mendy, but I know that he is open. If I need to make a pass over there to him, then he is over there free in space. So it's an amazing tool that will help you out so much. The number 4 thing you should be doing right now in FIFA 20 is learning to play in the offensive zone without holding the sprint button. I see so many people doing this. They just hold the sprint button whenever they're attacking, and you can see the ball just being pushed away from Mendy. And when you're going up against a good defender, that's going to give them an opportunity to push it. And I don't know if you saw there, I was holding the sprint button with De Bruyne. When you receive a ball holding the sprint button, they're going to do something called an acceleration dribble, and that's going to push the ball out in front of them so that they can accelerate towards it and try to get to fast speed. That works in certain situations, but I see people doing that all the time in the final third. When you get into this final third area, you're rarely going to hold the sprint button. If you do hold the sprint button, it's going to usually end up in a bad situation for you. There's not many skill moves you can do out of a sprint. Like right there, I could get it to St. Maximin. I could do a skill. You can do something to try to control the ball. But as soon as you start using the sprint button, you lose control, you lose contact with the ball. So I would make it a personal mission of yours. Go into a competitive match. Try to get goals without holding the sprint button. See what you can do with that. Just try to vary your game up. And of course, pace is always important, but it gets harder and harder. Every FIFA, they make 50 pace center backs able to catch up with Mbappe. So pace is always going to be a king thing in FIFA, but it makes you so much more unpredictable when you can do things without just holding the R trigger. And finally, my number 5 thing that you should be working on right now in FIFA 20 is getting good at right stick switching. This is another thing that will take your game to the next level, being able to quickly pick who you want to move to be able to cover space. Defending is what will take your game to the next level. So, for instance, like right here, I thought we conceded a corner. Let's concede a corner. I'll show you what I sometimes do on a corner routine, and it makes it easy to select who you want using your right stick switching. So usually what I do, I right stick switch to Eusebio. So now if they go deep, I can right stick switch back to De Bruyne. It gives you so much more control over who you're going to pick. Now you're still going to use your LB switching at times to get to the nearest defender. But if you see someone making a run, you're going to need that right stick switching to try to get close. to just be able to give you more control. And it doesn't always work well in FIFA, which is what I think sometimes it frustrates people, but it's still a very important part of the game. So work on your right stick switching right now. Get good at that. Then once you go into FIFA 21, that's going to work exactly the same. Going to make it so much easier for you to dominate matches in FIFA 21. But anyways, boys, this is going to wrap it up. I just wanted to share with you these 5 tips that you can be doing right now in FIFA 20 to be better at FIFA 21. These are the things that carry over FIFA to FIFA. So I hope you can implement those, and I hope you'll have a great start to FIFA 21. But definitely, if you're new here, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, but I'll see you guys soon. Bye.